I think North Carolina might be that good, and we're definitely not that bad. But we just certainly played poorly today, and we just got to take it. It's a lunch. It reminds me of a couple years ago we went to SMU, and we just couldn't get anything going, and we lost our confidence. There was just a sequence in that first half where we couldn't make a play, and then we started exactly what I felt this team would be the weakness this year, is when we needed somebody to settle down and make a play, right, that we weren't ready to make a smart play at that time. It would turn into hero basketball, and it would end up being create offense for them. And that's exactly what happened. And they didn't miss shots. They're not as well oiled as they were last year yet, but they got really good talent. Williams came out just really stroking the ball, and we did too. But we all of a sudden went out of that and got a little uncharacteristics of ourselves, and we got what we deserved.
Question, please.
Coach, they had 17 assists on their first 21 field goals.
Yeah.
What's the challenge when they're moving?
I don't think anybody even missed a shot in the beginning. I think we might have had a lot of assists at that time too. Yeah, they're really moving the ball well. You know, Luke makes a really tough matchup for us. You know, we're playing a really small with Duncan Robinson as a skinny four-man, and it was really a bad matchup, and it really hurt us. And we have a freshman. That's where DJ Wilson would have been in there today. We were trying to get a freshman, Isaiah Livers, ready, and they just, when they play through Luke, when you got an incredibly talented point guard, right, it just, everything else sort of flows, and Williams hitting shots, they were just really tough for us to play today.
How'd you think Mo played?
Hey, he's good. You see, I love, we've been, Sadi has really been working on, we felt he came out of the summer with, lost all his pivot work. He was like really sloppy. And we've really been working the last few days to clean those things up. You can see it paid off. No, he played really well. He played hard. He played really well. They just came from Portland. You know, we just came from Hawaii. We looked like we were in a daze today, not them. We came from Hawaii a few days ago.
Coach, defensively, was it as simple as just not containing the driver on those drop balls?
You know, I think we're a team during that. Well, it would be untrue at the beginning. We're making shots. No, I don't think we were ready for the quickness and the speed and the precision that they run with, and we weren't locked in defensively. We just weren't locked in. So I can't tell you why. We've seen it before. We got to shore it up. I just took that very quiet talk with the team, and we laid an egg for most of the first half defensively, half the first half offensively, and I got to find out really the reasons behind that. I'm not smart enough to get that all right now.
Coach, you went 11 deep again in the first half pretty quickly. When do you worry that sort of depth and not cutting down, has a long-term effect on the rotation?
Well, I don't know who those next guys are, right? If you know, you guys can let me know. I don't know who those next guys are, right? That we're trying to figure it out, and that's why we just said the heck with it in the second half. Heck, you're down 30. Let's let the young guys play, and they played really well. You know, albeit some of it was against their second team, but even their first, they did all right. That's where we got to grow. Just watch this team grow. You'll like what they do.
What did you think of Charles? He made his first couple shots, but
yeah.
He didn't.
Yeah, then he pressed a little bit. He tried to do too much. So it's very natural, and it's expected of a lot of guys. People are going to gear up with him. Now he's on the radar screen as a guy that can score points. So, but at the same time, I think the second half, we started out with 5 wide open threes. Then bang, 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 with a couple of stops could change the game. And we didn't make any of them. I mean, we didn't make any of them. And we usually don't get that open. We got really open. We couldn't score. And then they just did a great job of getting second shots, offensive boards. We just weren't good.
After hanging around throughout much of the first half, and then by halftime you're down 14, I guess what was the mood like?
Well, I didn't think we had the grit in that first half when things went, and I sort of, we have been in games, right, or slightly ahead, and then the LSU game we made a great comeback to get ahead, but we haven't been in things where we had successive things go wrong over and over again, and we just imploded a little bit there. I said our best defense tonight will be our offense. Shorten the possessions, take really good shots, right, don't turn the ball over. And, I think they got, off the 5 turnovers, they might have got 10 points off those. We took some bad shots. So sometimes you'd like to say, okay, they'll learn over time. No, they'll learn from this video very quickly, and they'll get better, because that's who they are. They will learn.
How did you think your freshmen did in their first true road test?
Okay. Okay, I think that it's, I think that's, again, you're playing a first true road game. You're playing the defending national champion, and that's probably not the easiest way to get it started. But, you know, those guys are making, I can't say one of them's making giant steps, but I tell you, they're making little incremental steps every day.
Coach Williams talked yesterday about some phone conversations that you guys have had in the
Yeah.
past. Can you talk about your relationship with Coach Williams and especially playing him for the first time in person?
Yeah, it goes. I don't know why. I think I'm the coach at Canisius somehow. I think he's the coach at Kansas. He knows my name. You know, he talks to me, right? And I think both of us are not when we're going on the road recruiting. I'm a guy that sits alone in the bleachers and just sort of minds my own business. And I don't looks like, hey, who wants to go to dinner tonight? I'm like, you know, getting a pizza and going to my hotel room. And so I don't talk with a whole lot of people. And he and I have just, I don't know if he's that way too, but I like talking to him. I remember one of the times he was sitting next to me and I was watching, it's a funny story, we're up at St. Mark's and everybody was watching these marquee players St. Mark's has, and I was the only guy to see Nick Stauskas. And he turned to me right at the end of the day and he says, "You rascal here, you're to see that kid, Stauskas kid, aren't you?" And so that's the type of relationship we have.
Coach, you mentioned the offensive rebounds that North Carolina got. Why do you think that defensive rebounding was such a struggle for you guys today?
You know what? We've been really good at that, but I don't think we've seen anybody like Pinson and May that go to the boards that hard. Right? It's just, you know, we've played good teams, not got people that talented with that knack of getting offensive rebounds. So much action was going on, and then all of a sudden the box out came. But I tell you what, they didn't miss many shots the first half. So it was like when they do miss and they get them back, it really it's difficult to get yourselves back up and keep going. It was disheartening, and they deserved it. We deserve what we got, and they deserve what they got. You know, I think they losing on Sunday, right, didn't hurt them at one bit. You know, they came back with a real vengeance towards us and towards the Big Ten or whatever, and we did not answer. We couldn't answer.
Got time for a couple more. Anybody else?
John, in terms of what you maybe thought you knew about this group coming into this and coming out of Hawaii, what disappoints you the most about this?
I think the grit in the first half. There was the heads went down, and we took some. You know, the games like this, you're playing like in a national championship atmosphere. You can't be like, say, oh, I don't know if this matters, but let me just try this shot right now, or make this play that's not there, or I'm just going to like come out of my stance and tell somebody to switch with me, right? So it was, I think it's expected of all teams. This reminds me so much of, like I said, we went to SMU a couple of years ago, and it wasn't even a game, right? It was never a game. And we came back, we made the NCAA tournament with a similar young team like this. So it's one that we got to grow from. But I'm disappointed that we had some of the veterans right now weren't as gritty as they've been in the past.
You guys entered the game with the second kind of slowest team in the nation. You are pretty selective with your shots.
What do you mean by slow?
So adjusted tempo and possessions.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Number of possessions?
Yeah, I think so.
Does that mean we value possessions every time we get a good shot?
Coach Williams, the way he described it is that you guys make sure you're getting the best shot every possession.
So when people say it's slow, our OER is usually terrific.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean it as an insult, of course.
Okay, but we don't play slow. We run on every single rebound as fast as we can, right?
I'll try to start over. You guys came in with the most.
Don't tell me we play
the
slow.
second most.
We don't. We just happen to take good shots, right? And work a really good offense that scores buckets.
You came in with the second most selective offense in the nation, perhaps.
Okay.
How did you try to counter? UNC has kind of an opposite philosophy there, running.
Well, that was saying our offense
selective.
could have been our defense today. If we could have just been a little bit more patient at some times, been a little bit more precise with what we do, we could have hung in there, scored points, and then obviously transition defense is a lot easier after you score a bucket. And all of a sudden we just went a little crazy, and either gave them the ball anyway. So we'll get better from it. It's a great teaching point today. This is like the Montessori experience you want. The kids go in there, they feel it, they touch it, they smell it, and now they know what it's like afterwards.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks everybody.